Hello, everybody, and welcome to my second episode of my New England Patriots Madden 21 franchise. And this week, the New England Patriots are taking on the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. This is going to be a series where I go one each week. Each episode is 1 week, and you're going to get gameplay and usually the pre-game, so the start of the game, and the end of the game with a little bit of stats. Although some games I may forget to bring up the stats, which is sort of unfortunate, but it is what it is. This team, the Seattle Seahawks, lost their Week 1 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta, and it was a really well-rounded game for Atlanta and not for Seattle. They had a lot of rushing yards, but Atlanta, their passing game was just too deadly. As you're going to see here, the Seattle Seahawks are 0-1, and they lost 38-21 in their first game. So hopefully we can capitalize on their low morale and get a win here. But for this team, again, it's still basically just like Week 1. No major upgrades happened. As you're seeing here, 440 yards for Atlanta. Just scored in every quarter, destroyed them. Matt Ryan, great game. Russ had 2 picks. Hopefully we can get him 2 picks again. Todd Gurley ran over Seattle's soul like he did in LA. But hopefully we can keep this high-flying offense with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Russ. Keep it low scoring, and hopefully win this a very dominant win, and not end up having such a close game. But already we're into the game on Century Link Field against Seattle on Sunday night, which is a great way to start, as the first play is a pass for Seattle, and he gets nothing, and then he throws a Tyler Lockett, and I missed the tackle. Kyle Duggar is too slow. The secondary is way too slow to catch up to Tyler Lockett, and he runs for a 75-yard touchdown. 77-yard touchdown even. Great start for me. As you know, I'm not the greatest Madden player in the world. I struggle on defense. I usually give up a lot of yards, and especially on all Madden, it's very difficult. With a high-flying offense like Seattle, it's going to be a tough day for me. I'm going to have to somehow be able to get good drives going and get good possessions, getting a bunch of first downs and getting touchdowns, because this is going to be such a difficult task this week. This team is in no shape or form as KJ Wright smacks Sony Michel for an 8-yard gain. But again, this team is so not offensively skilled. I've got a poor running game because I can't run the ball. Cam Newton is an inaccurate quarterback who can't throw for his life. So I hope that we can somehow, Cam Newton can run, as you see here. Gets a 2-yard run, gets caught up by Carlos Dunlap. But this team is very difficult to use as an offense. So hopefully in the future, as right when I say that, Sony Michel gets a huge gain, huge gain, 12 yards for them. But hopefully this team in the future, with the draft and other things like that, it can change, and I'll become successful again? Question mark? I'm not sure. But this first drive's going very well for us, as I throw it into triple coverage. That was a weird throw from my part. But this is going to be a very difficult game, like I said, as you get a huge gain to bring us down to the 1 with 1:20 left in the first. Alrighty, this first has gone by real quick. I'm not going to try to make these videos a lot longer, around 20 minutes. I'm going to make it around 15, 16, because again, I just don't think that making a 20-minute video and catching all these back plays where I lose yardage like that with Cam Newton, it's just I just don't feel like it, as I throw an absolute dot to Julian Edelman, absolute dot in the back corner. Can't show the replay here, but forgot to show you it. But that was an absolute amazing play from him. It was spectacular for him to get his feet in. He's not going to be on the team next year, most likely. I'm probably not going to re-sign him if he's on his contract, or I'll force to retire him, because he did retire in real life. Great player for the Patriots when he was not that over the last 8 years until 2019. So hopefully he can be of great use for us in his final year here, as DK Metcalf is a huge aggressive catch there. And man, Seattle is dotting us up. Like I said, but we have Stephon Gilmore and Devin McCourty. Our cornerback situation is not great. JC Jackson is going to be the guy of our future, but this secondary in general is extremely slow. That we need either a good D-line to help that, so we get more pressure on players like Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson who can run anywhere in the field and throw an absolute dime 60 yards down the field, or we get a good secondary. But again, this is all mainly like us playing, developing the younger players, getting them reps, and then getting people in the draft that can hopefully be huge for us in the next season, especially. So already Seattle's driving down the field, especially all the time to throw for Russell Wilson. Runs out of the pocket, escapes for 6 yards there. That's too easy for him. We don't have a great D-line as well. This whole defense is just, I'm putting in younger players, so it's obviously going to be worse. But this is not how I expected it to go. This is clearly not what I wanted. But oh well, you gotta live with it. As Russell Wilson had Will Disley, or Greg Olsen, sorry, right in the end zone there, and just misses him, throws it out of bounds. Would have been a touchdown, but it's the AI. What are you gonna do here? As they get a run to Chris Carson, loses him a yard there, which is another great play by our defense. It's already the 2-minute warning. It's 7-7. It's a pretty boring game so far. 4th and goal. They eventually just got 2 backwards plays and ended up having to kick. So it's 10-7 with about a minute and a half left in the first half. So here is a situation where our tight ends can't catch. He is a 66 overall. I understand that, but you need to catch the big plays. Sony Michel is wide open there on like a streak there. Nobody's covering him. He could be gone if he hopes so, but no. And I decided to run with Cam Newton, who hasn't fumbled yet this season, which is great. I haven't had any turnovers yet, which is perfect, because in the next few games you're going to see me have a lot more interceptions and fumbles than before. Like I said in the first episode, I brought up the sliders for the fumbles and tackling to make it more fair for me, because those are areas where it's hard for the player in the case, and the CPU always gets the benefit. So hopefully it can help as Russell Wilson goes into a 4-wide situation here, has all time to throw, throws a cross body right to DK Metcalf for a dot. That is a very, very lucky play. Only in Madden. I wouldn't be surprised if he did in real life, but Madden, that is common. Crossbody throws are a sight that you see all the time, as Greg Olsen gets a huge gain to put them into. Another great spot for a touchdown here with over 45 seconds left in the game. We need a defensive stop here. They motion in Tyler Lockett. They're going in, they're throwing it. It's a DK Metcalf who caught the ball but stepped out of bounds right there. That is extremely unfortunate for them. They could get a 10-point lead or even a 6-point lead, and that'll be great for them. As Russell Wilson throws in double coverage, and it gets intercepted by Brooks. That is unfortunate for Seattle. They needed those points, because now we've got 34 seconds, and I decide to, you know what? Let's go. Just go extremely fast paced, as KJ gets another huge hit on us. At some point, we're going to fumble this game, I bet. We need to go quickly here. I'm going to use my timeouts wisely. I'm trying to get enough points, because even though we get the ball to start the half, I still don't like it when I'm losing, as Myers gets a huge gain to put us in the 30, into field goal range, like I said earlier. This is huge for us. As here, I'm calling a timeout with 2 seconds left to get the field goal. Didn't want to risk anything, didn't want to lose any field position possibly, or lose time, so I get a very sketchy kick which just sneaks into the bottom right of the field goal post to get in for a 10-10 game at half. As you see here, I'm starting with the ball to start the third quarter, and that's good for us. Now that we got a tie game, I'm trying to run away from Bobby Wagner there, as he's got a huge ability that makes people fumble all the time. Jamal Adams has that too. They both have a very, very OP enforcer, as that should be DPI there. But as Bobby Wagner has good coverage on Dalton Keene, I guess good isn't the correct word to say there. I just get another good screenplay that works this game. But again, their defense is extremely scary. They've got so many abilities on there that are overpowered, like Lurker and Enforcer, which is going to be so scary for us if we were to play them again after this game. As Dalton Keene gets a huge play, I'm going to be trying to force it to him, possibly whenever he's open, so I can get him developed, because this is a guy that I'm excited to use. He's 21, like I said in the first episode. He's extremely, that would have been a huge play to get us into a first down there, but he chokes it. With Dalton Keene, he's going to be a guy I'm really excited to develop, and maybe we put in Jared Stidham next year. If I can't draft the quarterback somehow, if I don't get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft next year, I hopefully we'll keeping Jared Stidham in there, and that's going to be our guy of the future. I always enjoy doing these franchises where I develop players that aren't good in the game at the moment and develop them into like 85, 86 overalls, because then it's like, wow, this player's actually good now, and you never get to use them beforehand without them. As Chris Carson gets a huge gain there, just jukes out a tackle there, and gets tackled by Stephon Gilmore. But it's going to be very, very exciting, our future. As Bentley, that's going to be the guy that I'm using this entire series, who gets a huge TFL there and forces a fourth down, and it's 13-13 with 5 minutes to go. So far, I haven't thrown an interception. I'm playing very wise, and I'm not throwing it where I don't have to, except for that triple coverage throw that happened early in the game. But even here, the running game, it's working better. I'm doing a lot of ISOs and traps, because mainly that's the only run play, other than a toss maybe, that works repetitively. And if I want to make it realistic, I hope that it could eventually like get a good run game going that does work with any run game. So I want to develop a younger player like that. Is it almost intercepted there? Had a bad pass there, just swats it out of the way when he could have intercepted that for a huge gain now. And so far, Seattle has had all the momentum here with Chris Carson breaking so many tackles and then getting all the way down the field as I get tripped up by the O-line there of Seattle, and I would have got a good TFL. But again, this team is so much better than us, and they've been driving down the field the entire day, the entire night really, and they've gotten so close, but costly interceptions. Like here with Bentley, gets a huge alert for me. That's what I usually do. I guard the guy that's right in front of me, and I try and bait them into throwing it. And this time, it worked. And this is terrible for Seattle. I'm running on conservative, which makes it less likely for us to fumble, because I know that these guys are going to fumble one with a Jamal Adams or Bobby Wagner hit. So I'm trying to chew the clock here, force Seattle to use their timeouts, get a first down, and make this clock go all the way down to 3 seconds or 2 seconds, and kick a field goal. It was a lot closer than I expected as we get the first down, which basically seals the game. But this is still a very, very close game, which I really didn't want here. I'm going to be kneeing the ball now to get it down to 2 seconds, or 2 or 3 seconds to kick the game-winning field goal. But this wasn't as close as far as I wanted it. This is basically a win if I somehow miss the field goal, which would be surprising, but still not surprising at the same time here. As this is another trick in Madden. If you hold it when it's going for the accuracy to kick the actual field goal, you hold it, drains the clock, and it doesn't kick it for you. So you drain it all the way down to 2 seconds, 1 second, and the kick is up and good. 16-13, the second straight close game for the Patriots. It's always a sweaty one playing in these all Madden franchises, and this is huge for us. Bring out to a 2-0 start which was not what the Patriots did in their actual season this year. They lost to Seattle after beating Miami, but we're already off a 2-0 start, which is huge for our team, huge for our development, and just if we want to get that 7 wins, 8 wins, or even make the playoffs, it'll be perfect for us, as Cam Newton has 1 touchdown, no picks. Great game for him. It's really Cam Newton stats, which is great. Sony Michel, had a great game, getting 61 yards. Tyler Lockett had a huge game too with that first play touchdown to start the game. But yeah, this team so far for the Patriots has been awesome. Hopefully we can keep this momentum going into next week against the Raiders. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, dropping a like. I thank everybody who's watched the video so far and subscribed and even liked the videos. I thank you so much for that. Shout out to some of my friends who did it. And yeah, so again, next week we're playing Oakland. Not a great team so far, but you never know, they may pull an upset against us. But yeah, that's about it. Well, can't wait for next week. And yeah, see ya.